Welcome
We're
to
not seeing
today's
your screen.
Wednesday webinar. We are talking about the Finance tab, and it is not April 11th. It's April 18th, right?
Yep.
Let me see if I can't fix it. Okay, never mind. It just went blank. That's awesome. I love it when my tech does things that I don't think it's going to do. That's the best, man. Don't know what that's about either, but we're just going to go to the website so we can see it because it just went live today. Very exciting. So you go to the Girl Scouts of Maine website, click on My GS VTK, and then down to Volunteer Toolkit. And keep clicking through. If you have to log in. I've been in here a couple times today, so I was already logged in. I'm going to take us to the Brownie Troop because it's going to look the same either way, right?
Yep.
Okay. So the person that I'm talking to in the physical room I'm in is Kate McCarthy, our volunteer support manager, who has been working like a slave on this to get it in action. Okay, we don't care about this. We care about the Finance tab. So you've been looking across here at My Troop, the year plan, meeting plan, the new resources tab. Hope you've been there. If you haven't, we'll take a peek at it at the end. But the Finances tab, up until today, it said something like, we're working on it. But now, look at it. It's very exciting. Now, Kate, tell us about this, and why do we care about the Finance tab?
So we have in the past done a jot form online and a paper form to submit troop finances, and they're kind of unwieldy and difficult for people. So we wanted to put this resource in with all of our other resources, and so everything is in one place, which we're working very hard on doing with the Volunteer Toolkit. We've got the resources in there, of course, a ton of program materials, and now your finance pieces in there as well. And so now that we have published this just this morning, you can put all of the information that would have gone into your troop activity, your annual troop finance report form right in here. So it's just all in one spot. And when you go through the whole form, all you have to do is hit submit, and then we will get your copy of this, and also you can attach a bank form and we'll get that as well. So all in one place, and our goal is just to get everything into the Volunteer Toolkit.
So each troop is going to have, under its Volunteer Toolkit, it's going to have a distinct one. So if you had 2 troops or 3 troops, there'd be distinct ones.
Yes, so if you log into the toolkit and you have access to a couple of different troops and your different year plans, each of your troops will have a different finance tab.
Great. Now, right here, is everything in green a drop down or a thing that opens?
Everything in green will either drop down or give you a box to fill in with your notes or provide a link. So this link here is because the form does ask you for your service unit name and number. And while I know most people know their service unit name, the number, nobody knows the number. So we've provided that here so that you have the information so you can put it right into the tab without having to call or email or anything. You can just find it right there.
That's super handy dandy because you can see your recruitment placement.
That's right.
And
you get your staff list as well.
Too. Nice. Yep. And it opened a separate tab, which is great because you don't lose your access. And then the Super Troop, that's the Super Troop Challenge, right?
Yes. Oh. Yep. So we added this form in as well because when you submit your finance report, in the past we've had the Superstar Troop Challenge due on the same day, and we've moved the due date up. It used to be July 1, and now it is June 21st. So you can turn your Superstar Troop Challenge form in at the same time. You can open it here, and you can, when you submit your finance report, you can attach this as well. I believe you can have 3 attachments.
Oh, nice. Good. Close this. So when you start filling things in, when troops are ready to finish their year, they type in all of their income here.
Yep.
And then this is just going to total it, right?
Yes. So we've had a few questions. Again, it is due June 21st. So what you can do if you wanted to submit it May 1st, that's fine. You can do that. So really now that it's open, you can start submitting it as soon as you want to up until June 21st. And so if you are wrapping up your troop year and your last meeting is going to be May 15th, feel free to go in and report all your income and submit the form then. And then anything that happens after May 15th, if you decided you wanted to have a picnic on June 5th or something like that, you would just include it in next year's finance report, and that would be fine.
Cool. Can you think of times when people would use when people would add a note on the income?
Possibly, if there were any questions about why they had a really high amount of donations or dues or something. If there was something you felt you wanted to explain to us, just feel free to add a note, but it's not mandatory.
We got lots of donations at our booth sales. Yes, Tammy.
Can you show your screen, please?
You let us go that long without it. Oh, sister, I need a hand. Sharing the screen. Let me share the second screen because now you're looking at my ugly screen, right? Awesome. There we go. All right. Are you seeing the screen now?
Yes, we are.
Oh, good. Okay.
Awesome. Okay.
Well, I'm sorry you didn't see it beforehand,
Right.
but here it
So
is.
just so you can see what we were reviewing, because we were looking at a beautiful screen. It was terrific. These, anywhere you see the green letters, those are the pop-outs. And so there, and it opens a new tab, blah, blah, blah. You can see all this stuff, as we mentioned before. And the Super Troop form right there. Beautiful. Ta-da. And so here's where you're going to enter in all of your income. If you've got questions about what income would be, that's money families would turn in for Girl Scout membership fee, product sales, proceeds, dues, donations, money earning, etc. And this is the box. And it's just an optional thing.
Yep.
If you've got that. And then same for expenses.
Yep. And what we've done, it looks a little funny because there are some councils that when they do this, they have like 6 income lines. So you'd be doing your product sales in one line, etc. But we only have one. So you just have to give us your total income and put it in there. The gray box just autofills. So if you did have several lines, it would add it up for you. But with just one line, it's just going to show you what you put in the first one. And that will be the same in the expense line as well.
Great. So, and just in case you care, it looks like the same words.
Mm-hmm.
And again, an opportunity to make a note if there's something you feel like you need to explain. So then the starting balance, that's going to be something you enter because it'll come from the end of last year.
Mm-hmm.
Is the income going to autofill?
Yes.
Okay.
So all of these.
So those boxes are going to autofill into here, giving you an ending balance. And this would be the place where if you had a big ending balance, you might explain, just like we have in the past, we're carrying over $2,000 because we've got a trip to Washington, D.C. planned for next year or something.
Yep.
So an easy place for people to, especially with this comment here, we encourage troops to have an ending balance of less than $250. Gotcha. So parents are only going to be able to see from this point up, right?
Yes. So they can only see down to the orange. Parents see the troop income. Above that, and then everything below it is something only the troop leaders can see.
Nice. And they'll be able to see just the totals, right? They're not going to be able to enter anything.
They can't, no.
Okay. So no editing capability. So this is the part that just the troop leaders will see, or the troop volunteers. I don't know what level. What's the level?
You have to be a troop leader to access this and to type into it. So like a parent can see, they can access the VTK as a parent and see what your troop is doing, but they can't fill this in. In order to fill it in, it has to be one of the troop leaders. And this auto saves, and it will save the name of the person who did the last update along with the date and time that they did that at. So if you go in and you see that your bank name and all of this information has been entered and you're like, what, I didn't do that, you can see there will be a name right there. So if it were your co-leader and doing that, it would show the edits that they had made and it will have saved them.
Does it send an email notification? Like sometimes when things have gotten edited, I've gotten email notifications.
I don't believe so. Okay. So I guess it could possibly, but I haven't been told that it will.
Okay.
And I noticed when you went in earlier and we're doing ours, it did not tell me that any changes had been made. So.
And I would think it would tell you, so.
Yeah.
So obvious stuff, entering the bank name, the branch name. How would that be different? Like Westbrook? Or like the town
so like,
or something?
yes. So because we have so many Bangor savings banks, the branch name would just be the town that you were going to.
And that'll be evident from the statement.
Yeah.
Probably. Okay.
Yeah.
And then if you had adding another bank account, we were talking about that earlier. If you had a CD, like for travel purposes, or a savings account for extended plans, then that's where you would click that.
You can also it shows only one box for the signer's first and last name, but once you add someone in there, you can add other signers.
And it's going to demand that I put my last name in, but it avails other things. And then when you go to put the second one in, it allows you to remove people and switch them in case that happens in your troops. So that's good to know. And then this part is all of that activity stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I like that this is the first question for this end of your statement, so that troops can just say, yes, we are planning to come back, or we plan to merge with another troop, or nope, we don't plan to, or we don't know, which is almost the same as we're not coming back. So, so that staff members can help them sort that out straight away. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the service unit name and number thing. This is when you're going to need that document that's up here, remember? And then all of the activities. Are these the same questions that have been asked the last few years?
Yes, so the questions that we've had on the form in the past are all here again. It's all very valuable information for us to have.
Mm-hmm.
We did add a few things in. So all of these top questions are the same. What did your troop earn for badges and patches? Did you go to council-sponsored programs? All of those things. But it does go, when you're down towards the bottom, there's some questions about, if you want to add girls to your troop for next year,
Mm-hmm.
things that would affect the opportunity catalog. And so if troops go through and answer that here, it's very helpful to us so we can make sure the opportunity catalog is correct for girls registering into the fall troops.
Nice.
So.
Nice. Asking for names of people and things.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep.
So, and then once it's completely filled out, you can preview it. And the nice thing is it lets you preview even if you haven't completely filled it out. It's just going to tell you, oopsie, all of this red stuff you still need to go back and do.
Mm-hmm.
But you're able to look at it and then edit it. And you were saying earlier that you can make edits right up to the point that you click this button, right?
Right. So you can go back and preview and see what you have entered, and then you can go back and edit if you need to change something. It will save everything that you do with the note of when you were last in there and who did it, until you do hit send to council. And once you've done that, it's done. And so it gets sent to us, and you will see a timestamp and a confirmation that it was sent at the top of your finance tab after that every time that you log in. So you can just know that it was submitted and know when it went in as well.
So you're not going to get a separate email, right?
Nope.
Yeah, but you've got that proof in your volunteer toolkit.
Right.
I'm looking at this and how this button is gray, and I'm not getting a finger here.
I think you have to answer all the required questions.
Which is good, because then, you're going to make sure that you've got it completely filled out before you do publish. And the due date on this is?
June 21st.
Nice.
So we're really hoping to get all of them in by then. I know there are a lot of service units they're doing incentives, and they're based on having all of the troops in by June 21st.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and I bet people will do it even before, because you get that May statement by the 3rd. So, sit down when you've got the statement and do it, and you'll be all set.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What else about the finance tab do people need to know, or people curious about?
People have asked a lot about printing it, so you can see it does have the icon. So you can print
yay.
this. Once you've submitted it, you can see what you submitted, and then you can print that as well.
Nice. Look at that.
Yep.
Which probably also means you can save it as a PDF. You know that. Do the PDF complete thing. So if somebody wanted to save a copy, like they really like hard copy, or they just like to have a copy for their records, they could save it as a PDF or print as a PDF, and it would save to a file on their computer. That's great.
Yeah.
What other information? Oh, look at that. Hit Control P to print, in case you didn't know. All right. What else? What are other questions that people have asked about it, or that we've heard from other councils that the troop leaders benefit?
I think just the most frequent things, again, that you can print it, that both leaders can go in, or if you have more than 2 leaders, any troop leaders can go in and edit this. You will get that confirmation with the timestamp at the top that says when and who submitted it.
Nice.
I think those are our most commonly asked questions.
I was thinking we have a lot of troops now that have like 4 and 5 leaders, because people have been so good at recruiting other parents to take some leadership. You might want to make an agreement among leaders that, only the 2 signers or whoever, that only certain people or a person will go into edit.
Yeah.
Just so it doesn't get confusing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in that way, you can agree on who's going to do the final submit button, and that way you know exactly who's going to put it in and when.
Right. I do know if I were one of the signers, one of the 2 signers for the troop, I would want to go in and check it, even if my buddy were the one who were submitting it. And I think that's, we talk about having that too deep financial leadership. I think that's important. This is also a great thing to take your girls to and show them, look at this. This is all the money we earned, and pull out those spreadsheets that we encourage people to use.
Yeah.
So that they can see where the income came from and the expenses.
Yeah, I think it's great to have girls have the chance to look in the Volunteer Toolkit. So using the Finance tab, they're both going to be able to use the toolkit and kind of think about your troop budget. But anytime that you can get the girls in using the Volunteer Toolkit, they're very good at it. They're good at making the year plans and things like that. So it's great to have them active with this.
Well, and it brings in the girl leadership, which is so easy to not have if you're just using your own little tablet and not taking the girls there. Let's just, while we've got you, let's take a peek at the Resources tab, because it is awesome. And if you haven't looked at it since it's been updated in February, I think, you're going to want to give it a look, because we're here with a Brownie Troop, but you can access daisies through ambassadors, including multi-level resources, and look at all the different types of resources that are available. And these are not only GSUSA resources, they're also GSME resources. There are bundles and bundles of them. And look at, if you wanted to see the GSME patch programs, it takes you right out to our patch program page, so you can find the Outdoor Skills patch or the Treasure Me. I love it.
Yeah.
Or the Shining Star. Oh, baby. Those parents doing stuff.
Yeah, this resource tab is great. They do have, if you go up into the Daisy bar and click the more drop down there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you can see our specific Daisy patch programs.
Oh, nice.
And then a lot of the things that GSUSA put in are great too, like the uniform placement. People are always asking where to put everything, so that's a really good resource.
Where do I put it? Yes. I actually just had that question the other day about these very patches. Yay, and I gave it the right answer. So good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then another resource too that we've been sharing is our program providers, which is a program that Kirsten works on for GSME, is linked through this as well. So if you're curious about program providers throughout the state, you can look right through the resource tab and see, the Southern Western, they even have out of state. So lots of program providers.
And so that's like all of the people who provide programming in the Compass, but additionals as well.
Yeah,
right?
So a troop leader could contact them directly, and they've already, met with Kirsten. They know all about what they are providing as far as earning patches and things like that. Nice. And so you can just contact them directly to set up a time for your specific troop.
That's nice. I like how it's got the different levels that they work with too. So like Diver Ed's.
Yes,
awesome.
He's so good.
So lots of neat resources there. Cool. So great. Resources tab, check it out, and check it out for any level. Even our cadet seniors and ambassadors who don't have a lot of pre-programmed resources in the Volunteer Toolkit, they have plenty of resources in here now.
They do. So they actually have, so they have more in here than the other levels because they've got their gold award information and that kind of thing. The higher awards are in here, so it's a good resource.
And it's more bigger sisterhood level stuff too. That's awesome.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, if you have questions out there about the Finance tab or anything else, feel welcome to send an email to learn@gsmaine.org or kmccarthy at gsmaine.org.
Yep.
And we will help you out. Or you can post it in the Volunteer Swap conversation, and we're happy to continue the conversation about finances and the Finance tab and the Volunteer Toolkit. We'll probably do a recap on this just before it's due. So the second week of June, the first or second week of June, we'll do a little recap, because that's when you'll be filling it out and you'll have your account statement in hand. So tell your friends, and we'll post this on the YouTube channel. Yay. Anything else?
That's it. Thank you.
Finance tab ho. Thanks for coming, everybody.